The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
Good evening and welcome to BronxTalk, the Bronx's flagship television talk show. As you can see, we've got a totally different type of show tonight, but the phones are still open because this will be a good show for you to ask questions that might help you personally or give you some constructive ideas to help you live longer and healthier. You can call in our show, as always, at 718-960-7241. You can also email comments to us at bronxtalk@hotmail.com, and we'll read those on the air during a future program. Well, it's probably a pretty good guess that many of us have made our annual New Year's resolutions to get in better shape. But how many of us not only have not gotten started properly, but stay with the program and really see the benefits in our everyday lives? Well, tonight, we're going to try and provide an antidote to that as we present a different sort of fitness program called CrossFit, which is combined with what are called strongman techniques to create a fun and effective workout routine that might just appeal to those of us who are getting on in our years, like me. But we still value good health and long life. Please join me in welcoming from the Riverdale Strength and Fitness Club and StrongerAndFitter.com, witness expert Will Harris. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Good evening. And I should mention to folks that Will is my fitness instructor, and I participate in this too. So this is really a coming home for me of sorts. What is really different about this routine? And we've got some of my workout colleagues here doing. What's different about this from what is a traditional program?
Well, with a traditional program, a lot of times people focus on the aesthetic value of fitness. And with this program, we're more concerned with how we're going to progress as we age and the effects of the fitness that we achieve with this program. It's really all about how we feel and how it's going to help us through everyday life, as opposed to just how our biceps look, you know? Mm-hmm. So that's the biggest thing with this.
And in terms of creating the program, what kinds of things are in it? I mean, maybe we can get some shots of the things that we're going to go around and examine. But what's the philosophy behind some of these activities?
Well, the philosophy behind the whole methodology that we follow is called CrossFit, which is basically becoming proficient at numerous different tasks. So many people, you know, they're really good at, let's say, running long distances, but when it comes to picking up something, they have a hard time with it. And the very opposite, you know, is true. Some people are very good at, you know, lifting heavy things, but they're not really good at, you know, running. So we make sure that we're good at everything that we do. Mm-hmm. We work with kettlebells. We work with just basic objects such as the jump rope. You know, so many people think that you need to spend $3,000 on a treadmill, but you can purchase a $5 jump rope and get just as good as a workout.
Well, let's talk about that specifically. We're going to talk to you know, people using the different equipment, because I know you and I have talked about it. What is it about a jump rope that's as effective or maybe even more effective than for people who run around the reservoir, you know, every day, that kind of thing?
Well, the other thing about this program is the convenience factor of it. Most of the things that we make use of, such as the sandbags, the jump rope, they're very low-cost items. And you can take a jump rope with you anywhere you go. You go on vacation, you can throw it in your bag. You only need, you know, about 5 feet of open space to, you know, get on the jump rope. But if the weather's not good outside, you know, sometimes people use that as an excuse, you know, not to get outside. Exactly.
Well, this is what I was talking about, that everybody makes New Year's resolutions and then they never get to it. Let's talk about some of the specific things that I know you feel strongly about, and we were talking about before the show. When I was younger, there was a point where they said those squat thrusts that we used to do, you can no longer do because they were bad for your knees.
Yes.
But yet, with your program, and I'm going to demonstrate something that Will has been on me for a long time, because my squats are just, I'm going to try this, my squats are just never low enough. Why is it okay to do these squats, which I'm doing, but in the old days, they told us we shouldn't be doing those squat thrusts.
Okay, a lot of people have, you know, questions about squatting, and they feel it's dangerous.
Right, so now I'm going to do it while you're talking. Go ahead.
Simply because Okay, I want you to demonstrate how you squatted the first day you came in.
Oh, I don't know if I can.
You were on your toes,
Right.
and all the weight was on the kneecaps. Okay.
Right.
And when you're in that position, again, all the strain is on the knee and on the quadriceps. If you're squatting correctly, which is how I always teach you, you're sticking your butt backwards and you're keeping your shin vertical.
And
you're
so,
using the glutes, the hamstrings, and the hip to propel your body upward as opposed to just the knees.
I see. So this is a proper way to squat.
Precisely.
And what is and the value is on which muscles, for instance?
You're using the back half of your body, which is what the squat basically, should be focusing on, as opposed to the quadriceps and the kneecaps. A lot of people get into the habit of squatting wrong because that's what they commonly see at the gym, when people are just focusing on how their quads look. If you're just focusing on how your quads look, you might, end up doing some, squats at a short depth as opposed to getting the full range of motion.
Okay.
We're concerned with the function of the hip and the posterior chain, which translates over to everything else that we do.
Mm-hmm. Now, one other exercise, and I talked about squat thrusts. These are called burpees, ladies and gentlemen. And when I mention it, my friends are going to go, not me, not me. So I'm going to kind of demonstrate this. And tell me about the value of this, and why do you make me do this over and over again? So I'm gonna do them right here. It's down.
Down,
it's
a full push up.
Right.
Hop
back,
forward,
and then
take a
all
jump
the
at
way
the
up.
end. Yep.
So now that combination of doing what we used to call squat thrust,
Yep.
of course we're adding a push up in between, and then back and up. What's the value of that?
Well, you're combining so many different things with that exercise. I mean, number one, it's a cardio exercise. You do quite a few of those, and that heart's going to be pounding.
Yeah.
So that's number one. Number two, at the bottom of it, when you do that push-up, of course, you're working the chest and the triceps. And then when you come into that landing position, you should have been back on those heels a little bit. But when you're on those heels and you come up out of that
squat,
as
usual. Yeah, I'm sorry.
when you come out of that squat, you're also, you're using the quadriceps, you're using the hamstrings, you're using the glutes. So it's pretty much a total body exercise. Save, the lats. You're not using your back on that exercise, but pretty much you're using the entire body, and it's a great cardio exercise.
During our routines, and what we're seeing is each person is doing for 30 or 45 seconds, they go around, and this is the kind of thing we do on a regular basis. But you always create a different menu, and frankly, I've been wanting to ask this question for a long time. In terms of the combinations of exercises, I realize we're putting on a little bit of a show today, but some days it'll just be push-ups and a combination of something else. What do you try to do when you put the exercises together?
Again, with the methodology behind this training style, it's basically to, again, become proficient at numerous different tasks. And to show up at the gym and to have different things thrown at you on a daily basis, you don't really know what's coming, so you can't really prepare for it, So you're always working on something that you might be, deficient in. For example, if, push-ups are your arch enemy, you might not work on them too much, but when you come to the gym and you don't know you're going to have push-ups ahead of you, and that's part of the workout for the day, you got to get them done,
Okay.
So there's no way to avoid the things that you don't like.
I am going to move around and talk to, they're going to kill me because they're all sweating like crazy and I'm just standing here chatting, which never happens in our workout. But one other thing I want to talk about is this idea of mountain climbers, which for me was kind of a revelation because I like a lot of people, I've run, I've gone around the reservoir and done jogging, I've tried the treadmill and all that kind of thing. But here I'm going to demonstrate this. I'm sure I'm going to do them wrong, but this idea of these mountain climbers. Now, what is the value of doing this? Is it a convenience thing again that you do these?
Yes, I mean, I definitely believe that doing the mountain climbers is a convenient form of exercise, just like the burpee. It's a very good cardiovascular exercise, and I often use that as a substitution for the jump rope because some people, they've had knee surgeries, they've had injuries to the knee or to the hip, and they're not able to jump rope. So when you're doing the mountain climber and all the pressures on the upper body, your feet are pretty much just gliding across the floor, so you're not really putting too much pressure on the knee. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's something to throw in, just for some variety, but it's also a good substitution for jumping rope.
And also, if the weather is bad and you can't go out and do any jogging,
do some burpees and some mountain climbers.
Do some burpees and some mountain climbers. The fact is, I've actually done that. We're watching Jeanne now do the sandbag. Let's talk about what she's doing there. If we can get her, what's the value of this sandbag? I mean, first of all, how heavy? Go ahead, keep going. We'll get to you in a minute, Jeanne. How heavy is the bag?
The bag that Jeanne's carrying is 85 pounds. And basically, everything that we do has some type of functional application outside of the gym. Let's say, for example, you went to the grocery store and you had to pick up a bag of dog food. It might not be 85 pounds, but, you get the idea. It's something that you should be able to do, if the situation calls for it,
Mm-hmm.
So.
I'm going to add two things to that. One is I have been in that circumstance after having worked out, and I've had to lift up grocery bags, whatever, and all of a sudden I'm like able to do it.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, I guess they're kind of everyday things, and so if you can do them as opposed to, let's say, lifting weights or something else, you really have something going. Let's go over here and talk to our friend Tom. I know Tom is breathing heavy. Why don't you step forward here, Tom, if you would?
Thank you for the break.
Oh, wait, I have to get the microphone. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. Tom Chartier, good evening, and thanks for joining us on BronxTalk. He's sweating profusely. What's been the value of this workout regimen for you?
Well, I had a heart attack 13 years ago in a subsequent triple bypass, and I've had 3 stress tests since then. One of the items they measure is recovery time from exertion, and since taking CrossFit with Will, my recovery time is in half of what it was, so I recover much more quickly from exertion.
And you're not concerned, or he's not concerned, that we're taking a middle-aged man and putting him through what clearly is a strenuous routine, because he's sweating pretty good here.
I don't think there's any danger, and I just love competing with kids at my age.
How long have you been doing it?
CrossFit, just about a year now.
Mm-hmm. Has your life changed? Have you it's been worthwhile for you?
Oh, I love it. I'm a CrossFit junkie.
All right. Go back to work. Will, just talk about Tom and his development, and you're not concerned as a fitness instructor that here's a guy who've had bypass surgery and all that?
Everybody can start somewhere. People like Tom are, inspiration, to me as a fitness instructor and as a trainer, because I can pretty much, take anybody, that's coming into this and, show them somebody like Tom, and, that it shows a good example, to these people that, again, no matter what conditions that you have, what concerns you have, you can always start somewhere and build your way up to it.
And I will tell you, and I'll tell folks, by the way, if you have something you want to ask and you say, gee, I'm working out, or I'm thinking of working out, or you're not sure, then don't hesitate to call us. Also, strongerandfitter.com is the website, and then a phone number for people who want to have interest in working out with Will or working out. What phone number do we use?
The number is 646-593-3030.
Okay. And also there's a 212 number as well?
Yes, 212.
Either one.
365-0132,
okay.
Either number.
And we work out in the Van Cortlandt Park section of the Bronx. One of the things is custom making a program for individuals.
Yes.
These folks may look like they're at a higher level. I certainly don't look that way. But you're able to kind of modify programs for individuals.
Yes, I mean, on a regular basis, everybody that walks in, of course, they're not going to, be thrown straight into the fire, and be expected to do, things that everybody else is doing,
right.
Just because they're part of the group. Everybody has some sort of limitations, and my goal is to make sure that everybody is able to, get a great workout within their limitations. So, for example, if somebody can't do the jump rope, that's totally fine. They can do mountain climbers instead. If they can't lift a 75-pound sandbag, 85-pound sandbag, they can lift something a little bit lighter. We're doing the same exercises, but they're scaled to the intensity of the...
And then, of course, you build it up,
yes.
Which I can tell you firsthand. Yes. We've built up to things that I never thought that I could do. And,
yes.
All right, let's move around. Let's talk to Jeanne here at the rope. We're going to jump over the rope and come on this side. Hi, Jeanne. How are you?
Hi.
Step forward just a little bit. Let's step into the light over here. Right. So, Jeanne, tell me a little bit about... now, you're Tom's husband. That's important to note. Tell me a little bit about your... Tom's wife, excuse me. Tell me a little bit about your experience with Will and Stronger and Fitter.
CrossFit, for the first time I'm using weights. I had never done that before, and I find it very gratifying, and I've been doing things I never thought I could do.
Mm-hmm. About how long ago did you start? Well, also a year when Tom started?
It was a year in March. It's actually about 11 months.
Mm-hmm. Your life is different? You're able to
It is different. I spend a lot of time going to the gym at night. I've always been a jogger, and I was jogging before that. So now I incorporate the aerobic jogging with the weight training and the CrossFit, and it's wonderful. It's great.
Let's let you do this rope thing, which really, thank you, Jeanne. Let's just move you and
Okay.
I move to the light. Now, what is this rope thing that we're doing here, and what's the value of it? Because, frankly, I thought it was something that I enjoyed doing. So, what is this?
Yes, this rope weighs 50 pounds. So it's not a light object that she's working with. But basically, she pull a little bit harder, Jeanne. All right. So basically, what with this rope.
I'll tell you this, folks. Will just can't resist. Go ahead.
But basically, with this rope, the more pressure you apply to it, the more it's going to pull you forward. So it's a very great exercise for stabilizing the core as well as the stabilizing the hip as well.
And it's really a more fun thing.
Exactly.
Than if you were,
Exactly.
I don't
It's
know,
pretty fun.
doing something else.
Yeah.
All right. They're switching. We have a timer getting them to different routines. So I don't know who's going to be here. Erica's going to be here.
All right.
We'll watch Erica do this sledgehammer thing. Jeanne, you want to pick up a bag? Notice how well they just go and do it. But here's Erica doing the sledgehammer. Before we get to Erica, Will, what is the value of this? What is this about?
Well, for one, above all, the sledgehammer swing is very fun. There's nothing better than coming home after a long, stressful day and beating up a tire with the sledgehammer. But on top of that, again, with most of the exercises that we do, everything is oriented from the hip and from the core. And doing a sledgehammer swing, it requires so much power at the hip, which helps you explode to get that sandbag up. It helps with the kettlebell swings. It helps with so many things. And if you're an athlete, everything generates from the hips.
My producer is daring me, so hold the microphone, please. Wait, don't hit me with it. I'm using the heavier one, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So this is what we're doing, right? And
Yes, sir.
And there's my.
There you go. Just swing the hip into it.
Swing the hip into it.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
There you go. We built the railroad like this. And that's how we made America great.
But yeah, it's a very great cardio exercise, and it's also great for hand-eye coordination, which is something that, doing the traditional exercises at the gym don't really help you on.
And we should tell people these are not. Wait, don't swing, America, because we're going to talk to you in a second. Okay, she says with a smile on her face. Come on over here. This is a 15-pound.
16 pounds.
16 pound, and this one is
10 pounds.
10 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Erica.
Hi.
See, like Tom, you're grateful for the rest. Right?
Yes.
Tell me about you and when you started working out and why you worked out and all that.
Well, I had a baby a year ago, and I wanted something different. And what's so good about Will is that he changes it up every day, and he pushes your limits, and that's what I wanted.
Do you see the effects, the benefits in the long run?
Totally.
And where do you see it?
Overall, my body, my attitude, you get such a euphoric feeling after your workout. Puts you in a good mood. I'll go in a bad mood and then leave, really rejuvenated.
Well, that's because you've just beaten the heck out of this tire. Will, I want to ask you something about the use of things like this. I guess it makes it fun, right?
Yes, definitely. That's a huge part of this program. Exercise shouldn't be something that you dread. You shouldn't be, hanging your head every time you have to walk to the gym. When people come to work out with us, we're doing things such as the sledgehammer. We're playing with odd objects. We're doing things that you wouldn't normally do on a regular basis, and it adds that just like you said, that fun factor to it, and it makes it a lot easier to stick to. It makes it much harder when you don't enjoy it. So.
Right. Let's go to the telephone. Ricky from Marshalloo joins us. Hi, Ricky. How you doing, man?
How are you, Gary?
We're doing great. You enjoying what we're doing here tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
okay.
The interesting part about this is that I tried the Coney Island, the swimming in Coney Island during the cold weather,
Right.
and they said it's very therapeutic in the body, So when I see this is very energizing.
Okay. So are you asking us a question, or do you want some information about the swimming?
Yes, how can, get a lot of people, even senior citizens. I'm always involved with senior citizens. Can they get involved in this?
Okay, that's a very good. Thank you, Ricky. First, let's talk about the swimming. They said it's very invigorating. Do you view that as a physical exercise or something of value, or it's just kind of a fun thing for some people to do?
Definitely. Swimming is definitely a very therapeutic thing. Anything that pretty much challenges you. physically, it can be turned into something that's mentally therapeutic as well, And that's also another thing about this program, just as Erica mentioned, puts you in a different state of mind sometimes, outside of the workout,
Right.
If you're a confident individual and you just conquered something, at the gym, like for example, if, you couldn't flip the tire, you've tried with it, for about a week and then finally you get it, that puts you in a completely different state of mind, that confidence translates over into so many different things.
And I will tell you firsthand, there are many things I couldn't do when I started, and
Yes.
I've been with you since, let's say, August, and now all of a sudden I'm able to do it. And so the second part of his question, very interesting. Let's move over here. Why don't we get Carlos over here, since we haven't talked to Carlos, so I'll put you out of order a little bit to do the kettlebells. But what about the idea of senior citizens? Is this it would seem to me, knowing you could modify this for a senior citizen if necessary. Why don't you do a couple of kettlebells while we're doing this? Go ahead.
The requirements of an Olympic athlete and the requirements of our grandparents only degree in the intensity. They differ in the intensity, not in the kind of exercise that they need to do. The same way that an Olympic athlete, needs to generate power from their hips, to sprint, to lift heavy loads, things like that. Our grandparents and our older, population, they need that same strength in their hips to just go through normal.
So you could custom make or modify this program for senior citizens?
Yes, definitely, of any age. I mean, because again, all the things that we're doing, here for the most part, is something that anybody at any age could benefit from.
And of course, you would do it and make sure that they don't get hurt, but do it in a way that
exactly.
they can
I don't care if they're starting with 5 pounds. The main thing is making sure they're going through a proper range of motion and they're, getting the most out of the exercise.
Let's go over here and interrupt Carlos's workout, which I'm sure he'll be grateful for. Carlos, first thing, tell me a little bit about Jane. How much time do we have left, just so I know what we're. Okay, Carlos, tell me a little bit about you. How long you've been working out with Will?
Started I think the end of October.
End of October.
Yeah.
And what's it been like?
Great. I mean, in about 3 months, I went from a 38 to a 34. So
in terms of your waist?
My waist. I probably might even be a 32. I haven't tried yet.
Did you try other types of workout regimens?
Yeah, I mean, I tried stuff on my own, going to the gym. I even trained with a colleague who's a bodybuilder, and it's not the same.
What was different about that? And I really want to ask Will, because we talk all the time about the idea of curls and things. What was different between that and this? Why did that not work, but this worked?
I don't know. I used to sit on the bench thing and do tons of reps. And when I first got here, the kettlebell, I'd do like 10, 15. I was more tired than I was pushing like whatever I was pushing when I was doing it.
Which brings up two things. One is, Will, why don't you do a couple kettlebells and
do a couple?
Either you want me to do a couple?
Why not, Gary?
Here we go. Jane is like,
not?
yeah. So what is the value of doing this kettlebell?
Okay. Again, as always with everything that we do, it's a cardiovascular exercise, but also doing the kettlebell swing, again, it develops that hip power. Develops that hip power. You're using your lats as you're swinging the kettlebell up and as you're controlling it on the descent. And also, again, coordination, which is a big thing with everything that we do.
When I started with you, this was one of the first things that we did.
That we learned, yeah.
Why is this a good, versatile thing to do when you begin?
Full body exercise, and it gets you, to start realizing where your body is in space. And that's a key thing that a lot of people miss out when they're sitting on a machine. They don't pretty much, know where their elbow is, and they don't know where their knee is, because the machine is pretty much guiding you, through one plane of motion. With the kettlebell, you have to be aware of how fast you're swinging it. You have to be aware of how slow you're bringing it back down. You have to be aware of where your hips are. You have to be aware of everything.
I'm going to do one more, and
sure.
Because the first time I was like, well, it looks so easy.
Yes.
And then you do a couple, because basically once you get that momentum, and then you're just letting it swing back.
Yeah.
But it can be
It fights back.
It fights back. Is that what you're telling me? All right.
Yeah.
Maybe we could get everybody gathered around over here, and we'll do something fun. Can we gather around over here? Is this a place to do it? I think we had volunteered. Why don't you guys come around the other side there? We had volunteered Tom to be our guinea pig. Will, why don't you? We use tires and we use these kinds of things. Step up into the light. About how heavy is this? Is filled with other tires, I guess.
This tire is about 450 pounds right now.
450 pounds.
Yes, sir.
And I guess Goodyear is thrilled with you.
Hey, they must be.
Because, we do every now and then for fun. Should we give Tom a chance to try and turn it over? Here we go.
Go ahead, Tom.
Come on, Tom. Here we go. Here we go.
There we go.
Yeah. All right. Will, you want to do one?
Sure, why not?
Will.
Which way do you want me to flip it? Which way do you want me to go with it?
I think you want to go that way,
Go
so we
this
don't
way
hurt
with
the
it?
cameras.
Okay.
You think I could do it? Should I try it?
Yeah, Gary, you're up next. If I'm going to get down here, you're up next.
They're all going, yeah, go ahead. Let's see the skinny guy do it.
Right.
All right. He just, all right, here we go.
All right, Gary.
And I didn't warm up yet. Oh, this is
Bring
the
the seat back a
stupidest
little bit more. There you go. Get the knee under. Push it over. All right. Awesome.
I have to tell you, Jane was telling me in my ear, watch your back, watch your back. And my mother was probably saying the same thing. So for people who want to work with these nice folks or work with you, how do they get involved and what do they need to do?
Well, what they can do
Now
is
I'm
they
out
can.
of breath.
What they can do is they can visit our website, strongerandfitter.com.
Okay.
And basically, what you want to do is when you get to the website, there is a fitness camp going on every Friday, basically for people who are new to this, who are beginners. They can just fill out the registration form online and, give them a call. They can pop in.
And if they want to ask you questions, let's put one or two of those phone numbers up there.
Okay.
The 212 number we're going to put up there? Okay, what's that number?
212-365-0132.
And I will tell you, for anybody who wants to join us, we work out every day. He's got different classes at all different times in Van Cortlandt Park. Will Harris, thanks a lot. Could we get everybody to come around?
Thank you.
Come around. Jane wants you to be moving, but I'm going to give sympathy to all my friends. Okay? Folks, thank you so much. If you have comments or questions on anything you heard on tonight's show or anything going on in the Bronx, then email them to us at BronxTalk@hotmail.com, and we'll read those on the air during a future program. You can see archives of Bronx Talk at blip.tv. Just search for Bronx Talk. Next Monday night, a more traditional show for us, as we'll talk about Homeland Security, as well as a discussion on how far is too far in airport security, including the notion of body scans. Bronx Talk, Monday nights at 9 here on Cablevision's Channel 67 and Verizon Fios 33. Good night. Should we try to...